This week has been one of the biggest weeks of 2024, and you probably didn't even know about it. From the government almost shutting down, to Luigi Mangione facing now the death penalty, to Elon Musk being called President Musk, and Trump calling out the government for transparency about the drones that have been flying around in the US. Oh, and how can I forget? MrBeast on the verge of ending Hollywood as we know it. This week has been absolutely crazy, and you know your boy, he got all the news lined up just for you. MrBeast is the biggest YouTuber in history, and he's about to produce one of the largest TV shows in history. Beast Games is about 1,000 contestants competing for a massive $5 million grand prize. Let me say that again, $5 million. That's the largest single prize in television history. Gosh, stop saying history so much. We get the point. History, yes, okay, fine, he's making history, whatever, boom, all right, come on. Anyway, when it comes to production, Beast Games doesn't just play the game, it absolutely revolutionizes it. With a production budget of $100 million, it rivals some of your biggest studios such as Paramount, Warner Brothers, any big studio that you could possibly think of, it's rivaling that budget. One of the standout investments was Beast City, which cost them around $14 million to make. Bro built a whole city just because. Think of it as the ultimate playground for these contestants, complete with elaborate sets and challenges that push creativity and trust to its limits. Here's what makes Beast Games absolutely insane as well. It's independently produced. Just like how we talked about before, how it's rivaling the biggest studios, it's a studio within itself. MrBeast is allowing content creators, and even though he's the biggest content creator, to make production such as movies and TV shows accessible for every single content creator out there. I know it's a crazy amount of money, but talking about this 2 years ago or 5 years ago, whenever, it was unspeakable for a YouTuber to come out and make something like this. He worked directly with Amazon Prime to distribute this series, and he primarily used Beast Studios, which is his production company, and LionTree to fund the $100 million. So what does that mean? It's a new era where content creators can remove all the old gatekeeping ways of entertainment, with MrBeast leading the way, proving that he could play on the same playing field and win. Let's talk about the first episode with MrBeast kicking it off with a bang. Before the first challenge even started, he offered the contestants a share of $1 million before it even started, which is low-key a big middle finger to all the TV series because their grand prize is usually $1 million or below that. If you've already seen MrBeast's YouTube videos, you already know what to expect. They're crazy, they're fun, they're fast, they can make you cheer, laugh, and even cry. But this time, with this TV series, imagine all of that, but on steroids. Moving on. All right, let's talk about what just happened in Washington, D.C. because things got a bit tense. In December 2024, the government was on the brink of shutting down due to money problems or lack thereof. Now, what happens if the government shuts down? Federal employees stop getting paid, national parks close, and passport services grind to a halt. Imagine walking to a DMV that's even slower than it already is. It's not just inconvenient, it can impact millions of lives and the economy in itself. The chaos started when Congress couldn't agree to pass a spending bill. They tried to pass a bill, but nope, got rejected. The rejection pushed the government to the brink of losing money, and trust me, you don't want to see that happen. But just before everything went dark, Congress finally passed a bill to end the government from shutting down. Now, not everyone enjoyed the bill. President Donald Trump and President Elon Musk, we'll get to that later, criticized the bill due to the lack of debt ceiling. What is a debt ceiling? Let me break it for you. The debt ceiling is like the United States credit card limit. Imagine you're going to the bank and the bank says, okay, you've spent too much, we're not gonna give you any more money. The US borrows money for things like Social Security, military salaries, and federal programs. But there's a cap on how much we can borrow, and Congress has to vote whether they want to increase it or put the debt ceiling like how President Donald Trump and Elon Musk suggested. So Trump wanted the debt ceiling issue included in the bill to avoid future problems, but Congress decided to leave it out. So let's look at the silver lining first. The government didn't shut down. That's a win. But here's the bad news. This bill is a short-term fix. We're going to have to revisit this in March when Trump's team and Trump's administration takes over. The situation raises a bigger question. How do we stop this from happening year and year and year? In my last video, we talked about the importance of Doge and what it could bring to the United States government. By cutting spending, we'll be able to go into a surplus and not have to have these issues where we need to shut down our government or have to increase the debt ceiling. Doge is basically like having a personal budget advisor for yourself. That's exactly what it's going to do for the United States government. But they only serve as an advisory role, so it's up to Congress and the President and the Senate and every single branch to approve of these laws and approve of these different cuts so then they can actually get passed and be implicated. So where does this leave us? The clock is still ticking. Trump's administration in March will have to take over and figure out a solution to keep the government from shutting down. Next story. Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old former Ivy League student, is at the center of one of the biggest cases of the past decade. On December 4th, 2024, United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was fatally shot in Midtown Manhattan, a crime that federal prosecutors claim to be meticulously planned. Mangione was arrested 5 days later in Altona, Pennsylvania, where he was in a McDonald's eating a Happy Meal. I don't know if it was a Happy Meal, but he was eating McDonald's. Following his arrest, Mangione was extradited over to New York. He actually chose this for himself and will be facing federal and state charges. Let's talk about the federal side first. So, federal prosecutors have charged him with several offenses, including murder through the use of a firearm and stalking. Here's where it gets even more serious. The specific charge of murder through the use of a firearm carries the possibility of a death penalty. Attorney General Garland called this a calculated, premeditated act of violence. Mangione allegedly planned every single detail leading up to the murder of Brian Thompson. But that's not all, folks. He's also facing state charges of first-degree murder and an act of terrorism. It's not often you see this combination of federal and state charges. This is truly a one-of-one case. Let's move on to some lighthearted stuff, yeah? If you guys are enjoying this episode, please leave a like. It helps a lot. And please subscribe because, come on, like, I'm your daily news guy. Like, I thought we had a good relationship here. So come on, subscribe, like the video. Let's move on to our last couple of stories. President Musk. Gosh, that doesn't even sound right. Yet it's been the nickname that's been popping up and popping up and popping up on social media. Why? Because Elon Musk's influence on politics is growing really fast. Musk's been pretty active. He's made hefty donations to President Donald Trump. He's been campaigning for him, and he's been with him practically everywhere. That boy's probably been at his house a few times over there, or probably had a few sleepovers over there. And the media has ran away with this just like how they always do, calling him President Musk and Vice President Donald Trump. Trump actually laughed at this idea and said that Musk is not running for office, but he does love having him around, especially with leading the Department of Government Efficiency. And honestly, who wouldn't want to have the richest man in the world next to you? Like, that's just cool. I don't know. I'd want to have the richest guy next to me. But all right, anyway, I feel like people are trying to drive a wedge between these two, and let's hope that doesn't happen because we're talking about the two most powerful men in the United States at the moment. This news is a bit sadder. Rickey Henderson, renowned baseball player, has just passed away at the age of 65. He died in Oakland, California, battling pneumonia. These drones have been my favorite topic to talk about, man. Are they UFOs? Like, this is a serious question because some of them look like bat jets, and that's hilarious to me because we have bat jets before GTA 6. President-elect Donald Trump is not holding back when it comes to these drones flying in American skies. He's frustrated with the lack of transparency and calling out the Biden administration for not giving them information. At a press conference, Trump said, "Our military knows something strange is going on." He believes the government knows what's actually going on and wants the military to disclose things immediately. On the other side, the US military has claimed that there is no direct link between national security threat and these drones, claiming they're safe, they're whatever, they're just unidentified, but they're fine. According to Air Force Major General Pat Ryder, there's no evidence to suggest that these drones are a danger to the public or tied to a foreign activity, at least not yet. And President Joe Biden has said that people have been mistaking a lot of these drones for other verified drones, planes, satellites, and even stars, which is stars, bro? Like, you're mistaking it for stars? But I don't know, man. These drones they've been a bit weird, and they've been up there for quite a second, and we haven't shot them down yet, which is, call me a conspiracy theorist, but it's a bit weird. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you stayed this far, I appreciate you guys so much. If you liked the video, please like the video and subscribe. It really does help me out a lot, and I'll be back when a lot more crazy things happen. So, peace! this chair is so fun. Oh my God. I love this chair. Can we stop recording, please? Stop recording.